Godzilla is now in New York City.
Monster 01 and 02, commence the attack.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Stomp This Way. Andrew, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a couple weeks since we actually sat down and recorded an episode.
Yeah.
So here we are on a beautiful Monday night post Super Bowl, recording an episode about a movie that I didn't even know existed until I started doing some research when I was putting this franchise on our schedule. But here we are talking about it. Andrew, what movie is that?
Beware the Blob.
It's well, there's an exclamation point after beware, so it's beware the Blob.
Beware the Blob.
Whoa, don't blow out our eardrums here, but yeah. So, did you know this movie existed before I told you we were going to watch it?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I feel like I'm pretty caught up with monster movies, I think, in the world of monster movies. And I'm a fan of both the original Blob and the remake of the Blob. And yet, like I said, I didn't even know this was a thing before I Googled it when I was putting this on the schedule for this year. So pretty obscure, I would say. Little sequel from the 70s, but we're going to talk all about it. Yes, we are. Anyway, you want some alternate titles?
Sure.
Well, over the years, this movie has been known by several names, including Son of Blob, The Blob 2, and The Blob Returns.
Wow.
Wow, yeah. But
a lot of titles.
It was released as Beware the Blob. So there you go. You want some production trivia?
Yeah, give it to me.
All right. Well, following the success of the original film, they actually, wrote a script not long after that and had thought about making a sequel. And the original script was called A Chip Off the Old Blob. Get it? Get it? But it ended up being shelved. And interest in the franchise was revived when producer Jack Harris's son, the son graduated film school at USC, and he wanted to do a film project with his dad. So they agreed that the thing that they should work together on was a sequel to The Blob. And so there you go. And then Harris showed the original film to the director of this movie, Larry Hagman. Hagman was mostly known as an actor he was on the soap opera Dallas that was really big, back in the day. And he was one of the major players on that. I think this is his only film that he is credited as director, maybe for a reason. I think he directed like 3 episodes of a sitcom or something, but so Hagman, after he was shown the movie, he told Harris that he would assemble a cast if he got to direct it. So there was the stipulation.
And, that happened.
There you go. Unfortunately, it happened. Writer Anthony Harris has stated that much of the film was improvised on set and the script he wrote was largely ignored. Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Robert Walker Jr., who plays Bobby in the film, he did his own stunts for the rope climbing finale sequence. They had a stunt double, but he was like, no, I want this. This is my moment. I want to climb these ropes for real.
This is my, big moment.
This is my moment to become a star.
Too bad he got in the wrong movie for that.
Harris, the producer, was already planning a sequel to this called Curse of the Blob. He had it in mind while they were making this film. But for some reason, I don't know why, it never got put into production.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. Del Close wore an eye patch because his cat had scratched his cornea a few days before shooting started. So there's that.
Wow.
The bowling alley featured is also the bowling alley used for the exteriors of Jackrabbit Slims in Pulp Fiction. So look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that. A connection to Pulp Fiction. Much better movie. This was originally intended as a December of 71 release, but it was pushed back to the summer of 72 to capitalize on the drive-in theater audience. Because they knew that no one was going to sit in a normal theater and watch this.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And drive-in theaters back in the 70s was all the rage.
It was all the rage, wasn't it? The creature in this film was created using a red dyed powder mixed with water. You know, compared to originally, it was like a silicon mixed with vegetable dye or whatever. Basically, it was Jell-O in this movie. The blob was also accomplished via a red plastic balloon, backlit semi-transparent red plastic sheeting, and a rotating red drum of hard red silicon. Apparently, this originally received a PG rating, but is now distributed as an unrated film. And it was nominated for a Golden Scroll for Best Science Fiction Film in 1975. The Golden Scrolls are now known as the Saturn Awards. So there you go.
They must have had a very bad lineup.
Must have not had much competition, huh? Andrew, do we have any box office information?
Hardly any.
Okay.
Barely an inconvenience at this point. All we have in this box office is released June 21st, 1972.
Yeah.
With a budget of $150K.
Yeah. 150,000. I mean, the original was made for 110, so it's 40,000 more, but this was 14 years later. This was a low budget movie in 1972.
And you know, it didn't look like it. Looked like it.
It looked like it, yeah.
Very
Yeah.
like it.
You can tell. Well, anyway, we're going to listen to the trailer, and then we're going to come back. We'll list off the cast and crew, and we'll talk all about, what's it called? Beware the Blob. See you in a bit.
The Blob is back in a horrifying new adventure. And you are there, startled, stunned, terrified, as the blood-red creature rolls over and eats everything in its path.
We're going to burn the place down. I can't take any chances.
Beware the Blob. Starring Robert Walker, Gwynn Guilford.
First thing you do when you get home, you go fishing.
You know that's not the first thing I did when I got back home.
Beware Godfrey Cambridge. Beware Carol Lindley. Beware Shelley Berman.
You would like a haircut?
It'd be $400.
Beware the Blob. Larry Hagman and his pals tried to stop the Blob with a pitchfork. Beware the Blob.
Look out!
Consuming human flesh on contact.
I don't suppose you got any identification.
Nothing can stop it. Not fire, not water, not even bullets.
Don't move.
What do you mean?
That thing. That's it. Oh! Oh!
See Son of Blob.
Ah, it's the Blob!
Rated PG. All ages admitted.
Even the trailer doesn't know what the movie's called. It opens as Son of Blob, and then it or opens with Beware of Blob, and then at the end it said Son of Blob. So you know,
Nobody knows what it's actually called.
Nobody knows, or even cared to get it right in the original trailer. Oh, but yeah. Anyway, This movie is directed by Larry Hagman, written by Anthony Harris and Jack Woods, music by Mort Garson, effects by Tim Barr, and starring Robert Walker Jr., Carol Lindley, Godfrey Cambridge, Gwen Guilford, Richard Stahl, Richard Webb, Marlene Clark, Garrett Graham, J.J. Johnston, and Danny Goldman.
Wow.
And the plot is more or less as follows. When a pipeline worker returns home from a job in the Arctic, he unknowingly brings back a frozen fragment of the Blob. Once thawed, the creature kills him and his wife. A young woman named Elisa witnesses the man's death and runs to her boyfriend, Bobby, for help. When they return to the house, there is no sign of the bodies. Sheriff Jones and his deputies search the home after hearing Lisa's story, but find nothing. Later, Bobby attends a birthday party in his honor, but Lisa remains shaken and insists something is wrong. Hoping to calm her, Bobby takes her back to his place for some quiet time. While parked outside his family's barn, their car is engulfed by the Blob. Lisa accidentally turns on the air conditioning, causing the creature to recoil long enough for them to escape. The Blob moves through town, consuming citizens and growing larger. Bobby and Lisa head to the sheriff's office for help but can't find him, so they search for him at the local bowling alley. Bobby tries to warn the patrons, but it's too late. The Blob attacks. Bobby, Lisa, and the alley's owner become trapped inside of an out-of-service skating rink. Just as the sheriff prepares to burn the building down, Bobby activates the rink's freezing system, immobilizing the creature in ice. In the closing scene, the sheriff gives an interview to a news crew while the frozen Blob sits nearby. Unnoticed, a hot camera light melts a small hole in the ice, and the pink menace begins to seep out around the sheriff's boot as the credits roll. More or less?
More or less.
Yeah, so that is the plot, I think, of Beware the Blob. And yeah.
To correct you, they don't go to the sheriff's office.
Oh.
They call the sheriff's office, remember? And that's where they go, to the bowling rink.
Okay, you're right. I can't remember because at one point they did go to the sheriff's office, right? And the sheriff came in.
That was the two other...
Oh, that was their friends they went to the sheriff's office.
They went to the bowling alley and found their friends and told them to go to the sheriff's office.
You're right. I got it all mixed up in my... I'm sorry. God forbid I get some plot details wrong on Beware the Blob that doesn't even know its own title.
Hey, I'm just trying to keep the flow going.
Yeah, but I will say... from the opening scene, we're in trouble. This movie looks cheap. We open with, like I said, this guy, Chester, I think his name was.
This junk guy.
And he's come home. They're laying pipe, I guess.
In the Arctic.
Deep in the Arctic, where they dropped this, the Blob off. And for some reason, he's brought home a canister containing some of it.
His buddy found this and he's gonna, keep it frozen.
Yeah. And so he put it in his wife's, in their fridge, his wife's freezer. And she gets mad about it. Like, you can't put this in my freezer. And for some reason, he's got his tent set up in his house and he's drinking beer, and they make a big deal out of him like dumping the flowers out of a vase at one point and just pouring a bunch of cans of beer in the vase and drinking it straight out of the vase.
They spend a lot of time with random moments with these people in the first.
And that's why I from the beginning and throughout much of this movie, I think this movie is trying to be a parody, a painfully unfunny one. But then it gets weird because then there's also moments, especially during the bowling alley sequence at the end, where it feels like it's trying to be a semi-serious sequel to The Blob, at least in the creature attack scenes. And it's like, I don't know what they were trying to do.
In none of the other scenes, though. Just the last scene.
Yeah.
Because in the middle, in the beginning, middle, and part of the third act.
And then at the very end, it gets... So, I don't know.
Serious.
I feel like that, it had two writers on this movie. Maybe the writers had different ideas about what kind of movie they were wanted. And like we said, that the script was mostly ignored and they just kind of made it up.
Because it was more serious when the two, technically the supposed to be the main two actors were on set, it was more serious.
Yeah,
And
when
then
Lisa and Bobby were the focus.
it's a little bit more serious, and then when they weren't, it was just like off the wall crazy.
But
Goofy.
yeah, so anyway, so of course they set the canister out, it starts to thaw. And I'll say that I actually do like kind of the first shot we get of the blob where we get a close up of this fly landing on it.
Yeah.
And then it kind of slowly absorbs the fly.
Yeah.
And I thought that was actually a decent shot. And then it spills out and there's something about a kitten.
Oh, no, that was the first part of the movie, wasn't it? Just following the kitten around.
No, the opening credit sequence, yes, is with a bad overture. As we follow this kitten like prancing through a grass field.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the opening credit. We don't have the catchy, even though the movie's called Beware the Blob, so why wouldn't you recycle the song that says Beware the Blob? But yeah, instead we've got this bad opening orchestral score. No, I say bad, it's just kind of whatever, I guess. But
generic.
And yeah, and we follow the cat, and then the cat, and then cat
gets in the window,
gets eaten, and then does the cat get away? I don't remember. No, the cat gets eaten.
It's a whole. There's like several other scenes with the cat before that.
Yeah, I mean, it comes in and the wife is feeding it, catching it and feeding it,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the point is...
That was a painful to watch scene.
And this opening scene goes on forever.
Because he's like talking to the cat like she's a crazy lady.
Yeah, and these are not good actors, and yeah, and it looks cheap. Anyway, eventually it unthaws, it eats the cat, the wife goes out looking for the cat, wife gets eaten, and then it goes back in the house, and I guess... They want you to know that this is a parody / meta sequel. I don't think they had the term meta sequel back in the 70s, but he's watching The Blob on TV.
Yeah.
And Chester is, and he's like going to sit down, and the Blob is in the chair, and it gets him. And then this Lisa chick shows up. We had a cut back to her a couple times where her and her friends are setting up a party or something.
Yeah.
And she's driving over to the Chester's place to get something.
To get in the overalls.
The overalls. And she walks in and Chester's getting eaten.
Yeah.
And she goes ballistic. So she drives over, and while she's rushing over to her boyfriend's house, we get the start of an ongoing comedic bit gag that goes on throughout the rest of this movie, where she almost runs over an influential member of the town off the road and runs over his
to be fair
beer cans, and
it kind of looked like he was in the wrong because she was going straight down the road and he kind of just turned out in front of her.
But and it's going to be an ongoing gag because he wants these kids found and arrested, and the police could not care less.
Because they're asking him, did they do this? Did you get this? He's like, no.
And they'll keep running into him. And
the license plate's on the car.
And anyway, so she goes over to her boyfriend's house, and we're introduced to Bobby. And Bobby he lives on this farm, and he has a red room in his barn. And I think he's developing pictures of her. But that never comes back of any importance.
No.
And
there's this, like, I guess they're part of his family. There's three
like hobos living in his barn. I don't know. And yeah, one of them. We'll get to that scene later. But anyway, she gets her boyfriend and she's freaking out. They go over to the trailer. They can't find the Chester and his wife. They're gone. And so he takes her to the police come up because they ran by the police where they were talking to the guy. And they're like, okay, we'll search the house, but they don't find anything. Send the kids home.
And then that's when the guy comes back again, pulls up to the scene. He's like, y'all doing a great job.
Until the sheriff was like, you kids can go home. And he's like, well, I want these kids arrested.
I'm making a citizen's arrest.
And the sheriff just totally blows him off.
Yeah.
I want to emphasize that I'm bored, terribly bored for most of this movie. There are a few mildly amusing, and Sheriff Jones, I think, is one of them. He is
The serious
mildly
actor.
amusing. Oh, he's not serious. He's goofy.
Mm.
I mean, he's playing it straight, but kind of like,
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen, like he
Mhm.
delivers these lines with a straight face, but it's
Like,
supposed to be funny.
He delivers it like seriously, like
Yeah. But I mean, he's mildly
Mhm.
amusing. Everybody else in this movie is pretty much terrible.
yeah.
I mean, the guy that owned the bowling alley owner, as we'll figure out, this guy that they keep running
Mhm.
into is the bowling alley owner. I kind of funny like once or twice.
Yeah.
It gets old before the movie is over. But anyway, so the police sheriffs can't find anything, and then we're gonna get Lisa and Bobby go, and they're throwing a surprise party for Bobby. That's what they were setting up because it's his birthday or whatever. And there's one of their friends in a gorilla suit for no real reason, and all this is going down. But meanwhile, the Blob is gonna start eating people.
yeah.
It first sneaks out, and we get this totally like, again, some of these just feel like bits they just like made up on set, which I
Yeah.
think is what they were doing. And then they just, just put him in the movie like where this one guy with shaggy hair goes to a barber,
Mm-hmm.
and this barber is kind of flamboyant, and he's like, I am not a barber, I am a sculptor.
I
of
am a hair sculptor.
Yeah. And there's this whole big
Yeah.
bit about it's gonna be $400 or whatever.
He's
and-
like, and this guy's like stoned and just chill. He's like, cool, man.
Cool, man. Yeah, he's a hippie. And then of course the Blob, like I think before this we had a couple of their hippie friends went into like the drainage pipe
Mm-hmm.
and were getting stoned.
Sewer.
And,
It was like a sewer drain.
yeah, like a water drainage pipe, sewer drainage pipe thing. And they were playing music and getting stoned.
Yeah.
And this cop comes up and is, kind of,
He was like the jerk cop.
yeah, the jerk cop. And
He has his gun pointed at him like,
he's giving him a hard time. And then the Blob comes and eats him.
mm-hmm.
And I
And his
presume-
friends.
Huh?
And the friends.
And I presume the hippies.
Mm.
And then it goes up the drain, I guess, and then it goes into the barber shop and
Mhm.
gets in the sink where they rinse your hair or whatever. And
Yeah.
eats the hippie and I presume the barber as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's eating people. It's getting bigger. These scenes are painfully awkward and not funny in the slightest. But anyway. Lisa's still throwing a fit because she's like, I saw something and no one
Yeah.
believes me. And
And then she weirdly gets calm all of a sudden when on the ride home.
then, she gets frisky on the ride.
Weird.
They run into the bowling alley owner again. And he just runs over his stacks of Miller Lite or whatever
Yeah.
it was. And and then she starts getting frisky and they park in front of his barn and they're getting all lovey-dovey, and then is it before this where we get the hobos? I think it's before
Yeah,
this.
it's for this.
The hobos, I think they're staying at Bobby's barn for no real reason. One of them is
I think they're the workers.
they maybe, I don't know. One of them is the guy with the eye patch that I meant,
Yeah.
Dell, whatever I said his name was. One of them is Burgess Meredith.
Yeah.
For some reason. Someone must have needed a paycheck. That's all I can figure. This was 1972, so this would have been, I guess this would have been almost a decade before Rocky. When did Rocky come out? I can't remember. When did the first Rocky come out? Late 70s? 78, something like that. Anyway. So I guess it'd have been before Rockies. But yeah, Burgess Meredith is there. And the other guy is the director, Larry Hagman. And they come across the Blob, and is it Burgess Meredith that gets eaten first?
No,
Or
it's
was it-
it's the other dude.
Is it Larry Hagman that gets eaten first?
Not the eye patch guy, the third guy.
Yeah, Larry Hagman gets eaten first. And then the eye patch dude and Burgess Meredith go out and try to fight it or something. And of course
Yeah.
get eaten.
They get like pitchforks and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then Bobby and Lisa are there making out in the car, and it kind of oozes out of the barn and drips onto their car. And
Mhm.
she sees it drifting down and
Rolls up the windows.
yeah, and then you get kind of like reminded me of the scene in Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster where the two hippies are in their car and the Smog Monster kind of
Yeah.
oozes over their car. That happens here, but just way less cool. And Lisa, like, she's scrambling around and like her butt accidentally hits the AC dial or something. And even though I don't think the AC is going to chill the outside of the car very fast, the blob like immediately recoils and
Yeah.
they go driving off. And I think at this point they go back to the, what do they do next? Do they go? Is this where they go to like the gas station and their friends are there?
They drive off, go to the gas station,
try to get a phone, and
they couldn't get the sheriff.
I guess the gas station attendant's been eaten by the blob, we're to assume, and they can't get the sheriff, and their friend with the monkey suit's there, and he's being a jerk.
Yeah, and then her friend gets out of the car with her.
Yeah, and
then the monkey suit guy drives off in the direction of the blob was.
Yeah, and he comes across the blob as giant, blocking the road now.
And he rams into it full speed.
Yeah. And then they go to the bowling alley, right?
Yeah.
And this is where he's like, I think he calls us. Why do his friends go to the sheriff's office? Does he call his friends from the bowling alley, or he called them from the gas station
they got to the bowling alley and they're sitting at the bowling alley.
Okay. Yeah, and they go to and then he's on the PA system trying to get people to leave, and of course nobody's listening to him, and they like throw him off the PA system, and
that's when they throw him into the owner's office.
Yeah, and it turns out this is where the big reveal is that the guy that's been a jerk to him this whole time is the owner of the bowling alley. But two of the repairmen are working on one of the the bowling lanes, and the blob comes up and gets them, and then panic ensues. I will say it's a pretty good shot. The best shot in this movie is when the blob starts like oozing down the bowling lanes. And not as good as the theater shot in the original, but it is a decent shot. And then panic ensues. People get eaten. People go running, and the sheriff shows up, and Lisa and Bobby and the bowling alley owner, like there's a skating rink part of the bowling alley too, but it's out of service,
closed for renovation, so it's not on, but they get trapped in like the office part of it. And anyway, so then the sheriff comes up, and he's like they're trying to figure out what to do, and the blob is seeping into the office where the others are trapped, and he's like, we're just gonna have to burn it down, boys. And there was this whole subplot we didn't even talk about because it doesn't really matter. Where there was this Boy Scout troop, and they were early in the movie. They were like marching down the road, and Lisa saw them down the road, and they had this really awkward exchange. And like, there's Miss Lisa. It wouldn't be a scout hike without seeing her down the road, and he is a very awkward dude.
He's a very weird dude. I wouldn't want my kids to be with this guy. Not that I have any or ever will, but and they're hiking up the mountain, and then there's this whole funny bit where they've got these old, like, I don't even know what you call them, but like the things on the wire, the two balls that like click together or whatever, and everybody's got, and like he takes one from one kid, and the next kid's got like two of them going. And anyway, but then there's a shot at one point like where all their sleeping bags are empty, and I'm like, did it kill all the kids? And I was disappointed because like it killed all the kids off screen. I wanted to see that, but they don't have the budget for that. But the kids are alive. I guess it got the Scoutmaster.
It was like, you should have seen what happened to the Scoutmaster.
But we never saw that. But anyway, the kids show up, and they have the
There was this one kid that
with the lighter
that he was like, he did the fire thing. He started the fire with his lighter and a piece of toilet paper.
But they show back up at this ending, and he tries to give the sheriff the lighter because the sheriff is looking for a light for his gasoline, but the lighter doesn't work. And anyway, so they're gonna go light the building on fire. But before he does that, Bobby does his whole rope climbing trick. and gets over to the power box where he can turn on the ice rink.
Which weirdly can like flash freeze the ice rink.
Yeah, the owner's like, it's a new system and it freezes instantaneously. And I'm
Almost
like, wow.
instantaneously.
Flash freezing ice rink. That's nice.
That's a
I don't think that's a thing, but anyway. And so yeah, he turns it on and the blob like immediately, like this massive blob, like immediately, just because it's sitting on this ice rink, immediately turns into solid ice.
because it like flash freezes.
Yeah.
It.
And so they don't burn the building down, and then everybody piles inside.
That's when Bobby runs out and almost tackles the
the sheriff.
sheriff, getting the fire out of his hands.
And so they go inside, and the sheriff, like, he lets them press in, and
Yeah.
they want to do an interview. And he, again, like, I felt like most of this bowling alley sequence was played pretty seriously. You know, as seriously as a low budget movie like this can play it. You know,
And then this,
which is it was so weird because the rest of the movie we also skipped over the whole part. There's this like Russian or dude, Middle Eastern dude or Polish dude, I don't know what he is, but anyway, he's sitting in his bathtub and
with his Yorkie,
and the blob like
comes
into his bathroom
Yeah.
and he like breaks the window and gets out and he's running down the street naked and
Yeah.
the cops pick him up and it's a whole bit.
thing.
And so the most of the movie is so stupid. Like, it's trying to be a parody. It's not a funny parody for the most part. It's pretty painful. But they play this bowling alley sequence pretty straight. And then at the end, it goes back to being a parody where he's going to give like his big speech to the camera. He's like, it's maybe the most dangerous thing anyone's ever done.
Then one of the people has put their flashlights like shining directly on the
ice.
And it melts a little bit of it.
Yeah, and it starts driving down and kind of pools around the sheriff's
one of his boot.
And then he looks down and you get the final freeze frame of him looking at the
He's
camera
like,
and doing like a goofy
He's like, what
face, and the end, thank God. But yeah, so that's the movie. What'd you think?
It was terrible.
It was terrible. It's a terrible movie. Like I said, there are a couple of things that are mildly amusing. Sheriff Jones a couple of times. Maybe the run in with the bowling alley owner was funny. A little funny once or twice. It got old.
The first time,
yeah. And but yeah, that's about it. I was kind of bored out of my mind for most. The bowling alley sequence is not terrible. Like I said, there's a couple of decent shots. At least things are finally happening. But it's definitely not great. It's nowhere near as good as any blob sequence in the original movie. So yeah. Creature design.
It's a blob.
It's the blob.
It's exactly the same look as the original Blob.
Yeah. It is a red gelatinous thing. Getting into the effects of it, it is a little cheaper looking. This like some of the like Jello stuff looks fine about like it did last time, but you can tell when they break out like the red tinted like tinfoil sheet or plastic sheet or whatever. They just kind of like unfold, downward sometimes when it gets big. Looks pretty bad. And then, they don't have like any of the more effects sequences like in the original, like when it was pulsing or changing colors and doing any of the more technical stuff or the film playing backwards to get it to like do stuff and things like that. It's pretty more straightforward this time around.
Barely ever shown.
Not a whole lot of screen time with the Blob, unfortunately. And not that there was a lot in the first movie either. Like I said, there were a couple decent shots. I like the shot of the fly being sucked into the canister. It's a small thing, but I thought it was pretty neat. And I like the shot of the Blob just spilling down the bowling alleys towards the end. But other than that, didn't look very good. So Score. They don't have the catchy theme song, and then the rest of it's just kind of a
goofy,
goofy, like you'd
generic
kind of
mesh of parody themes.
Yeah, some of the more goofy, like Three Stooges type musical stings, and then again when the movie is trying to be more serious for some reason, it's kind of generic monster movie
It doesn't even
score.
It's not really serious at all even then.
Yeah. So yeah, not the greatest. Not the greatest. But anyway, you want to do some final thoughts?
Sure.
Go for it.
You know, this movie is terrible.
It's terrible. Yeah.
No really good redeeming factors about this movie.
Yeah.
Nothing's really funny.
No.
Maybe like you're like that scene was more tolerable than the rest.
Yeah.
Kind of moments you're like, eh.
Yeah.
And then you know you're just bored out of your mind most of the movie.
Yeah.
The actors are cringier than cringing.
They're not good.
Especially the first 10 minutes. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because their two best actors, which is probably their director Larry Hagman and Burgess Meredith, are like cameos as hobos. It's kind of weird, but yeah.
Because it's like funny for like the first scene, the drunk dude,
The redneck
Chester.
Oh, Chester. No, Chester was never funny. That whole sequence was painful.
It was pretty painful. Watching him, it was like, ooh.
I was like, oh man, we're in for a long.
And then the
90
wife
minutes.
was almost worse.
She was worse. Yeah, that whole sequence was just bad.
You know, and all that was just terrible.
Yeah.
The only person that I thought did his role anywhere decently was the sheriff.
Yeah, I thought the guy playing Sheriff Jones, he knew what movie he was in, and he did a decent job.
Yeah. Passable. Barely.
Yeah.
But, you know, everything else was not good. The effects were terrible. The score was not good. Acting for the very majority of it was not good.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this movie an F.
Yeah, I'm with you. The movie, like I said, a couple of mildly amusing sequences, a couple of decent shots, but aside from that, I was bored out of my mind. The acting is terrible. It looks cheap. I mean, it was on $150,000 in 1972, which is basically no budget. It was a movie made by a father-son duo who just wanted a project so they could say they worked on together, and Larry Hagman just kind of tagged along because he had nothing better going on at this point in his career, and he wanted to be able to say he directed something. And you can tell there's not a lot of passion here. It just so tonally is just so weird because, like I said, so much of it feels like they're trying so hard to be a parody and failing. And then towards the end, they try to be kind of a semi-serious sequel with the whole bowling alley sequence, and it's also terrible at that. And it just fails at being both. And yeah, I really strongly dislike this movie, and I'm glad that I'm glad that we don't have to watch it again, and we'll hopefully. Well, I know for a fact we'll be getting a better movie next week. But this movie is definitely an F. Been a while since we got to use the F sound effect. got it in twice today, but yeah, we got that over with, and I'm glad that next week we will be having what I know for a fact is at least a pretty good movie in the 1988 remake of The Blob. But before that, let's talk about a couple news items, not much. We did watch the new trailer for Monarch Season 2, which is coming out here pretty soon. And it showed a little bit more of Godzilla Kong, a little bit more of a hint of the plot. Seems like they're maybe some deceptive editing, but it seems like they're going to try to bring Kong and Godzilla together to fight this Titan X, which I don't know where in the timeline this season's supposed to be taking place, because unless the trailers are just super misleading, it feels like it's really going to be messing with the continuity. But like I said, this show is not too concerned with continuity.
And it's disrupted the continuity since its
continuity was out the window a long time ago. Not that I'm too worried about the continuity. I just want to have a fun show, more fun than that first season, hopefully. And it looks like it could be More fun than that first season. Just kind of focusing on this Titan X chasing around, fighting Kong, fighting Godzilla, whatever. If that's what the show is, I'll be fine with it. But we've got 10 episodes, and I got a feeling we're going to have 4 or 5 episodes there in the middle like we did last time, where there's not a lot of kaiju action going on. Because we're on a budget here, people, and we got to pay Kurt Russell's salary. So, it is what it is. But we'll watch it, and I think it comes to an end sometime in May, and we'll do a wrap up episode and let you know our thoughts. But any additional thoughts on that?
No, it's gonna be a hopefully better show than last season.
I did see, and I know this is just wild speculation, and I don't think it'll come to fruition. There are some fans online that are wondering if Titan X will turn out to be Biolante, and I hope not. I hope they don't turn Biolante into this generic Kraken creature. But, we'll see. We'll see. I think this is funny more than anything else. Netflix did acquire the distribution rights for the in production live action Gundam film, which is starring Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
If this thing ever gets made, oh man, that's gonna be amazing for all the wrong reasons. But if that thing ever gets made, we'll definitely have to review that, because that is gonna be glorious. Andrew, I was wondering as we were watching the Super Bowl the other day, there is a new movie coming out this year, a new animated movie that's sort of about giant monsters. The third or fourth Minions movie.
Oh yeah,
there's Minions and Monsters. I don't know if you went and watched the full trailer after the Super Bowl, but the essential plot is that the Minions are trying to get a kaiju movie made, and so they have to go on a search to find some monsters to be in their movie. And I thought, I don't know, we might have to do it for the podcast.
Yeah,
but probably not.
Maybe.
Because I hate to do one Minions movie and not the others, and the others are not really appropriate for this podcast. But if you feel really passionate about us reviewing the Minions, let us know. But anyway, do you got anything else?
Nope.
You got anything else? I don't think I do either. What we got coming up on the schedule? Let me look in my handy dandy calendar here. What are we doing? We got, of course, the Blob 1988 version, and the Giant Behemoth will be the final episode of this month. But next month, are you ready for this?
What?
I've got the first 3 weeks of March planned out, and they will be Attack of the Giant Leeches. That'll be the 4th. Beast from Haunted Cave. That'll be the 12th. And the 18th will be the Monster That Challenged the World.
Ooh.
So be on the lookout for that. But I think that's pretty much it for this podcast. Other than that, so don't forget that you can always contact us at stompthisway1954@gmail.com.
And you can find our website at www.stompthisway.wordpress.com.
That's right. And you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Stomp This Way. And don't forget to check out our other podcast, Pulse Check, a horror movie podcast. Talk about horror movies of all types. So check that out. We should have a few episodes out by now. And next week will be the remake of The Blob 1988. So look forward to checking that out with us. And as always, I'm Aaron.
I'm Andrew.
And we will see you next time.